Hey everybody, I'm Binkle Monkey, and I really love lore. Like, anything with a juicy bit of backstory I can sink my teeth in really gets me hyped. Obvious examples like the Marvel Cinematic Universe tie multi-million-dollar movies together through lore from comic books and from their other movies and TV series. It gets to a point where you've got numbers on mailboxes referencing events in comics and TV shows. Like, they're giving you a lot to chew on here. And then there's fighting games. Each new iteration adds more and more intertangled storylines and character interaction. Does it really matter to a casual gamer that Zangief and E. Honda are friends? Not really. But I love the big boy bromance Capcom has brewing there. Then you have The Lord of the Rings and the Silmarillion, an entirely separate book that tells the ancient history of Middle-earth. Or A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms that does the same for Game of Thrones. It's all super interesting, super nerdy, and I'm super into it. But today, the super lore I'm here to talk about is that of Super Mario. I mean, who hasn't wondered how Mario got to where he is? A blue-collar worker who regularly saves an entire kingdom on the behest of a ruler who can't keep herself from being abducted by turtle people.
Oh.
How does one land themselves such a cushy gig?
Oh.
Well, today, we get to look back, all the way back to the beginning, in Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island. Now, as the fandom so gently informed us last time,
it's not even a real Mario game!
To which I say, yes it is.
It's not a Mario game.
Why not?
You play as Yoshi.
Mario's riding him. It's not that different from Super Mario World.
You shoot eggs.
Not that different from fireballs, if you ask me.
But...
Okay, how about you all gather around, children, and I shall tell you the lore of the Super Mario lore game. Shortly after Super Mario World was released, Nintendo went, dang, people really like Yoshi. Miyamoto!
Hello!
Make more Yoshi stuff!
Okie dokie.
See? It's a Yoshi game.
No, this is why we got the puzzle games Yoshi and Yoshi's Cookie. But when Miyamoto and the team wanted to make a new 2D platformer, they felt that the best way to keep it fresh and interesting was to switch up the formula by putting Yoshi in the driver's seat instead of being the car in this analogy, and giving him some new moves. So after 4 years of development, Yoshi's Island was birthed onto the world in the fall of 1995 to rave reviews and was touted as one of the last of a dying breed, a 16-bit game that shows real heart and creativity. And that heart and creativity helped Yoshi's Island to sell 4 million copies.
Yeah, whatever.
And started the debate over whether it's a Mario game or the start of the Yoshi platforming series.
It's called Yoshi's Island?
I think it's both. It's both.
Oh, I didn't even consider it could be both.
You and a lot of other people, but this game was produced by Shigeru Miyamoto, directed by Takashi Tezuka, and the music's by Koji Kondo. That's the chorus of the core folks behind nearly every Mario game. And it sets up Mario's beyond crazy lore. So a long time ago...
How long ago?
Shit, I don't know how old Mario is. 40 years ago, I guess? The mustache makes him look old. Anyway, a stork was delivering 2 twins to their parents. These twins were Mario and Luigi.
They're actually twins?
I guess so.
It is called Mario Twins. They look the same. Wow.
So the stork is just doing stork things when Kamek, the wizard Koopa, comes flying out of nowhere and tries to steal the babies. Kamek snags one baby while the other plummets into the ocean below. The end.
What the actual hell?
I'm kidding. The baby actually lands on Yoshi, on Yoshi's Island. A map also falls out of the sky, but Yoshi can't read, so he takes the map and baby Mario,
The baby was Mario?
obviously it was baby Mario, to his friends to figure out what to do. Meanwhile, Kamek discovers he's a bad baby snatcher, as he's only grabbed one of the 2 twins, so he sends his minions off to find the other baby. But they won't have to look too hard, as the Yoshis have discovered that baby Mario knows where he wants to go, for the bond between the twins informs each of them where the other one is.
Okay.
So the Yoshis decide to return the baby to his brother using a relay system, making Mario a human baton, and thus the adventure begins.
How does this connect to the Super Mario Bros. Movie lore?
Okay, look, how many Marios are there between the 2 of you?
There's 3. There's Mario and Luigi Mario.
It doesn't, because Yoshi looks like this, and not like this. What? But now in 8 different colors. Yoshis are basically the Mac of the Mario-verse. Each color of Yoshi plays exactly the same, but they've all been souped up from Super Mario World. You've still got the tonguing and the stomping, but now when you tongue something, you can turn it into an egg, thus proving you are not what you eat, but your offspring is. But don't get too attached, because your babies are actually ammunition, and you're going to be chucking eggs at everything. You even get a little X as an angle trajectory crosshair thing. And those eggs are tough, being able to ricochet off walls multiple times before giving out on you.
Hard-boiled eggs.
Yoshi can also do a Flutter Jump now, which allows them to stay airborne for an extended time. You can also Flutter Jump after hopping on an enemy to get some serious height. The controls in this game are ridiculously smooth, allowing you to be fluttering and throwing eggs at the same time, making Yoshi an all-terrain, long-range killing machine. But wait, there's even more. Yoshi can morph into vehicles for a short time, whenever they find one of these bubbles. Well, vehicles or a mole. There's a helicopter, a car, a submarine, a train, and a mole. And the mole? There's just something off about the mole, I don't know. Last, but not least, is a ground pound that lets Yoshi bust down posts and whatever the hell this stuff is supposed to be. The yellow stuff kinda looks like cheese? I don't know what it is, but it works with the aesthetic of the game. Everything has a beautiful hand-drawn coloring book vibe to it, created literally by digitizing hand-drawn images. It looks phenomenal, still holding up to this day, and stands out as one of the most stylized games on the Super Nintendo. So it plays great, it looks great, but how does it sound? Well, pretty great. Koji Kondo's score is every bit as memorable and fun here as in any other Mario game. And there are lots of little flourishes, like how with each world you complete, the music on the level select screen adds more instruments, filling into a wonderfully harmonized piece of music. I also love how the music box style music for the introduction slows down over time and has to be wound back up to finish telling the story. There's a lot of great ideas in the sounds for this game. Except one. If Yoshi gets hit by a baddie, Baby Mario flies off their back and starts screaming. Initially, you have 10 seconds to catch your boisterous bouncing baby buddy in a bubble before the Bad Boys Brigade burgle your bundle of joy. But you can add time to the countdown clock by finding halfway markers and item clouds with little stars in them. But sometimes that just means you've added time to how long that baby's gonna be wailing. And you're gonna hear that wailing a lot. There are 6 worlds with 8 levels, 2 of which are always castle levels with a boss at the end. So that's 48 levels, which sounds kinda small compared to the 73 levels of Super Mario World. But these Yoshi Island levels get to be chonky. There's no level timer for the first time in a Mario game, and that's because the game really encourages you to explore. There are lots of hidden paths and rooms for you to discover hidden throughout levels. And sometimes, finding the hidden things is the entire level. The first world is a pretty linear romp through cartoony flowers and trees, but then the game starts adding in maze-like levels to test your puzzle-solving skills. It tickles your self-confidence a little differently than other Mario games. It's a, I figured that out kind of feeling instead of the usual, I got through that kind of feeling. And it feels nice. Also nice is the progression from world to world. World 1 feels like fields and forests made of sunshine and rainbows, while World 2 feels like we've climbed some foothills into a much less friendly territory filled with Koopa Troopas. World 3 is a jungle filled to the brim with monkey! And god damn it, are those monkeys annoying. If they're not spitting watermelon seeds at you, dropping missiles on you, or scratching themselves, they're trying to steal your baby. World 4 is a climb up the base of some mountains, and probably where the most gimmicky levels are in the game, which kinda makes it my favorite actually. World 5 continues the climb up the mountains into snowy levels, and then an ascension into the cloud world. And World 6 has you teleported to a dark, dead world where Kamek is holding baby Luigi. The castle levels each have their own flair based on who's set up to be the boss. You see, Kamek shows up whenever it's boss time to take a normal baddie and sprinkle some protein powder on them to make them into a giant fearsome foe. And this is a really fun way to do bosses. Like, turning this guy into a giant Koopa Troopa is a great way to show some love to some old baddies that we've grown so attached to. It also puts a spotlight on the new enemies added in this game to make them memorable, like Bert the Bashful, whose pants get lower whenever you... I don't don't think we'll be seeing him again anytime soon.
What an asshole!
But each fight is very different from the last, and that's kind of a first for a Mario game. They really keep you on your toes. Like in Prince Froggy's fort, when you get to the boss room, you see a frog, and you see that the room's pretty small, so you're wondering how you're going to maneuver around this big frog boss. But Kamek sprinkles you this time, shrinking you, and then the frog eats you, and the fight takes place inside the stomach of the frog. It's so weird and trippy, and damn it, the yellow Yoshi deserves some extra vacation days or something. They have seen some serious shit. Also worth mentioning is Raphael the Raven, whose fight takes place on the moon.
Does this mean he just mooned us? What's with all the butt stuff in this game?
The most memorable boss for me, though, is the giant piranha plant, because I was stuck on this level for literally years as a kid. The level spends a lot of time teaching you about shooting your eggs to skim over water, but that went right over my head as a kid, and I couldn't figure out a good way to damage this boss at all. And Kamek gives you a weird clue about unless you have a navel, and I remember asking my dad what that meant, and him being like, well, you need a belly button, obviously, and yeah, this boss literally ended me playing this game for several years. Nowadays, I know you can kill it before the fight even starts, so that's neat. Speaking of Kamek's cryptic messages, you start to catch more and more pieces of the lore, like, that baby is going to cause a disaster to befall the Koopas. How do they know that? The Mario Bros are part of some sort of prophecy? I wish they would have gotten into that more. Also, you discover that Bowser is alive and Kamek is working on his behest. But when you get to Bowser's castle, you discover he too is a baby. And he really wants to ride that green donkey that is Yoshi. So you abuse a child for a little bit, until Kamek makes him massive, then the overdriving guitar kicks in and you have yourself one badass boss fight. You got Kaiju Baby Bowser coming at you, and you're throwing eggs into the distance while all these platforms are being destroyed. This one might be the best boss fight in Mario games up to this point. But you defeat a baby, neglect to call Child Protective Services, and find the stork and baby Luigi. Yoshi says a heartfelt goodbye to his baby buddy, and you've beaten the game. The credits roll and the stork returns the bros to their rightful parents, who live in a mushroom house? Are the Mario Bros originally from the Mushroom Kingdom? That really shakes up my understanding of the next part of the origin story.
What happened to Brooklyn?
That aside, you've beaten the game, you're feeling accomplished, but you notice these question marks still on the level select screen. Well, this is where I feel Yoshi's Island falters, by asking too much of a player. When you beat a level, you go to a scorecard screen that shows you how well you did at collecting items. Each level has 5 flowers and 20 red coins hidden amongst all the regular coins. If you find all of those, and finish the level with 30 star points, you know, the added time to save Baby Mario from getting taken away, you get a score of 100. Get a score of 100 on every level in a world, and you unlock an additional challenge level and a bonus game to win items or free lives. If you care about unlocking these levels, which I personally can't not care about, this game just got a lot longer, but not in the there's new content kind of way, because you're going to be replaying the same levels over and over again trying to find what you missed. And some of the things you can miss are stupid cheap, like these red coin Shy Guy copters, which have hidden thresholds that you can accidentally cross, and then they'll come on screen and you'll never even see that they were there. Or maybe you missed the red shiny eggs hidden somewhere in the level that turn into red coins on contact. Then you're stuck either dying and trying again or starting the level over. Fortunately, the game is overly giving with free lives, but I discovered it doesn't save your life count if you shut the game off, so that kinda sucks. Also, this means you can't get hit at the end of a level, because if your star count isn't 30, you're not getting that 100% completion. The game does give you some ways to cheat the system, with items that refill you 10 or 20 stars, or you can use a yellow egg to get a few stars as well. But not getting hit in some of the bullet hell situations this game creates kinda takes the fun out of the game and makes it a chore.
I thought this was just a baby game about babies. Babies shouldn't have to work that hard.
Baby is definitely gonna need a nap after this one. Maybe me as well. But outside of the absurd completion requirements, this game is just generally absurd. Like Mario getting a power-up star and running around as a super baby? Amazing! These Shy Guy ghosts that drop missiles on you from above crack me up, because if you ground pound, it makes them drop the missile. And just look at him, he's so upset. And while we're at it, this weird yellow honey looking stuff, let me just shove my head in there. And then Fatbird, you can't forget Fatbird, or Fire Watermelon, Ice Watermelon, and the absolutely infamous Touch Fuzzy Get Dizzy level.
It just doesn't get any better than this.
Yoshi's Island is such a well-crafted game, and it's just so damn charming. The art design is inspired, all of the character designs are just amazing. Yoshi plays like a dream, but during this last playthrough, I got burnt out. And I recognize that a lot of that comes from trying to 100% every level, but how am I supposed to review this game if I don't see all of it?
You didn't tell us about the challenge levels.
They're fine, that's it, they're fine. But the parts of this game that feel long, feel really long. There's even an auto-scroller level called The Very Long Cave. And you know what? It kinda sucks. But you know what game didn't make me feel this way? Super Mario World. Super Mario World hits that sweet spot between completion bonus, difficulty, and fun for me. And Yoshi's Island just tiptoed into the tedious a few too many times for me. And because of that, it takes the number 2 spot on the ranking list. Super Mario World is still the best Super Mario game as of 1995, in my opinion. But what do you think? Got a different number 1 than the one I've got so far? Well, let me know in the comments section. And while you're there, maybe hit that subscribe button, or that like button right next to it. Couldn't hurt to ring the bell either, right? You can also swing over to our Patreon page and help support the channel. Patrons get to help decide what series we do next, you know, not to mention there's swag and a chance to be a part of the fandom. Aw, this little Yoshi's Island bedtime story tuckered them out. They're kind of cute when they're not screaming about how wrong I am. Anyway, thank you for watching, and have a good one. Crap, I didn't even mention Poochie. Or the weird penguin abduction thing you can do. The Tiki Hut minigames. We can't go back, huh? Well, those things are good too. Thanks again.